three of us, the powerhouse here.
Powerhouse. You guys are
Okay.
shaping the future.
I'll convene our meeting of April 4th, which is the Planning and Zoning Commission work session on our general plan.
Wonderful.
Agenda
Okay.
item 1, discussion of planning areas and reveal existing goals and policies regarding them. And we got that broken down into certain areas, which we kind of started talking about in the last meeting. So Emmanuel, you can take over.
I will. Oh, yes. Very good. Okay, thank you. So, okay. Well, I'm going to start with goal 5, historic Old Bisbee planning area. So goal 5 is to encourage and promote retaining the small town character of this area. The objective is to support enhancements within the historic Old Bisbee planning area that serve Bisbee's residents, reduce automobile use and air pollution, improve delivery of public and private services, increase tourism and visitors, maintain inviting places to live, work, retire, relax, and preserve the historic and small town character. All right, starting with that, how do you feel about that? That's objective, particularly tourism, reducing automobile use, public delivery.
Well, my suggestion is as a second goal, or a part of that goal, is just the promotion of Bisbee as an overnight destination.
Yeah, okay. I'll write
I
that
think
down.
that's the key, overnight destination rather than,
Okay.
that thing should be focused on
That's
keeping people overnight.
all right, and we want to talk about
Where can I find, where in my green binder can I find that?
I got over there, my 22. but
yeah, page 22. You actually, oh, you brought your binders with the general plan. Okay, very good.
Well, we were given one, and I had one from way back originally.
Oh, okay.
And I think, there is still reference to the moratorium on sewer, which is, that needs to be deleted.
Yeah.
The old,
Yeah, we'll delete that. I got those notes.
and of course, parking continues to be an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not 22 in here, sorry.
Let me see where that might be. Actually, you know what? That's the area. There's the second page, the second area. You'll see the policy goals. They're going to be, once you get kind of
My-
get a little bit deeper into the back, you'll start seeing some. You're probably gonna have to go a little bit deeper.
Do I go to the next section?
Go to the next section real quick. Let's see. There we go. And then we're going to
Goal 5.
So here we go. That's what I just read. Goal
Okay.
5, so it's page V. It's different on
Okay,
the PDF copy. I guess it's supposed to be
okay.
in here. Oh, you have it even different.
Yeah, well, this is the original one here, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I have that too, so.
Yeah. Can I see this real quick? I might be able to find one in here. It is, although, 3. Wow, this is just all over. Yeah, they did a bit of updating, didn't they? 18. It seems like they really, yeah, updated even the, because I've only seen the more modern, oh, here we go. I think this should be it right here. Yes, here we go, goal 5. Let's go 6, sorry. I've been like looking at this plan so much that I can just like find everything. Ah, here we go. I can just find everything and like be like, oh, there it is. There's living with the plan. I'm so glad you all brought those. I didn't really want to print them all out because I figured that it might be a lot of
Yeah, I have
information.
another copy that I can give to someone.
Yeah.
Your copy, I think, that's more recent.
This is all online? On
Yeah,
the city
it's-
website, you can download a digital version.
Yep. Yeah. You can get a PDF. Now these ones are actually these are kind of like part of the ones that I had sent you all a while back. Like,
Yeah.
let's see here. Yeah. Okay. So promoted as an overnight destination.
Well, it makes reference to tourism here, but
Yeah.
that the overnight destination is the thing that we need to really stress.
Yeah.
And I didn't go on with this, I didn't know what section to really look at, so I looked at the introduction to this first.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. And then there's some policies that I was thinking about. For policy 51A, which is maintain the historic Old Bisbee's retail core. And it was talking about how it would be a primary regional mixed use activity center for tourism, legal arts and culture, alternative healthcare, lodging, restaurants, entertainment. And I was thinking that we could expand those uses across all of Bisbee, not just having it be concentrated down there. Mainly because I think that if people live in other parts of Bisbee, driving down there and like finding a place to park, since parking has been such a kind of a point of contention, you know, that like I think that we could really work on expanding uses to say Warren, like Arizona Street or like San Jose. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Well, certainly that's still true. I mean, we still have an attorney downtown, but that's about the only general business,
Yeah.
non-tourist oriented business that's in the downtown area anymore.
Yeah. Huh.
So
Yeah.
So your description there is accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So that, and then I was thinking, and then I think that encouraging protection and preservation and revitalization is always going to be a policy goal. I'm mainly, one of the issues, another one is 51C is upgrades to infrastructure, stair system, retention wall, sidewalks. I do think that we definitely need to think about just when it comes to like infrastructure, hazard mitigation, wildfire, encroachment, flood,
Definitely.
extreme heat now more than before, which is unfortunate. I'm kind of sad about that. But one thing it was saying was
Would that fit into 511? Oh wait, that's not 11.
oh
5-1L,
5-1L. Let me see.
as far as fire mitigation, etc.
Yeah. Let's see here. 5-1L. Does that work with local grassroots organizations and nonprofit groups to identify funds for the restoration and repair of sidewalk systems?
Well, we're working with organizations for fire, like Firewise,
Okay.
for
Yeah.
the fire mitigation. Could we work it in there?
Yeah. Let me just add that as a potentiality. Through organizations like Firewise.
Because it seems like 5-1C is supporting upgrades to the infrastructure,
Mhm.
stair system, etc., where somehow fire mitigation would be something other than an upgrade. You know what, here's another, this is that one that he sent us.
Yeah.
And here's the goal right here. And then here's everything we're looking at. So that's another copy. You guys don't want to share?
Yeah, that has all of the information too. Yeah. as well as the, what is it called? Disaster mitigation.
So I think one thing for, 51L, what I have noticed,
Uh-huh.
there's not really a place to sit down after you climb all those hills. I think we have like one bench, and I always see people, they're sitting by the bank, or they get to a point and they're like looking around for a place to take a
That's
break,
true.
but
Yeah.
there isn't any.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on Main Street you're talking,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Grassy Park, there's benches, but
That's before the hill.
Mhm.
Yeah, once they walk up Main Street, a lot of times people want to just sit down.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one up by where the subway street comes out, but after that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's one all the way past that. I mean, from between there and the Screaming Banshee.
Yeah, okay. Let me write that down there. Support land use, transportation, circulation trail. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, here we go.
but that's a good point, 'cause you've done a good job in terms of benches in Vista Park,
Yeah.
but they're not downtown.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
All right, let's see here.
And the other piece is to get some bottled water.
Yeah, all right.
That's another big one. It's like, is there a drinking fountain? I saw a drinking fountain in Higgins Park. That's pretty,
Hmm.
in disguise, but.
Pedestrian amenities. It's interesting because I know that what I've seen the conversation surrounding Old Bisbee is a lot of times people don't want to make a lot of changes because they're like it's just maintaining this historic character. But you're also like back in the olden days, you probably had benches, or maybe not. I don't really know. I think it could work in the plan though.
Yeah. Well, I think it's it's a tourism district.
Yeah.
I believe. I mean, I've met tourists and they never go beyond the pit.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, there's a whole other town on the other side there. But just making it friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. I think it's great. I like the idea of having benches or even benches up on the trail. Say if you live in Old Bisbee and you don't want to go down and you need to take a rest for a minute and you want to take a look over the city, you can just sit and just rest and look at it, Make it very primitive and fit within the structure or the scenery, or something, right? Nothing too space age. We won't put any neon lights around it or anything. Actually, there was a trail I was on once, and it had a wooden, not a love seat, but like one of those like chairs that's where you can lounge on it. It was cool. All right. Okay. Promote retail and other info private sector development. Okay. Providing for safe and convenient multimodal transportation with this area. Multimodal transportation, like it's a walkable area, so and it's got a bus.
51D.
Yeah, there's 51D, and then there's 51.
Oh, see, now I have it in my book, but it's not on that spreadsheet.
Huh.
Where it has developing Bisbee as an overnight visitor destination as well as a destination for storm shoppers.
Hmm.
Oh, this is all different.
Yeah, I did a lot of copying and pasting. It was a messy process, so. Okay.
So do you have that as your 5-1D? The last part of the sentence is developing Bisbee as an overnight visitor destination?
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's just not on here. Okay.
Oh, it just might not say 51D on it. Maybe I
Yeah.
missed that. I missed
Okay.
that. 51D. Okay. So we know that we want to make it an overnight. We know that we want to make it an overnight destination. I think, like you said, working with going beyond just going to the bars, but also like places to go the next morning, like our natural amenities around Okay. How about 51F? Support development and redevelopment of street level retail or other pedestrian oriented land uses such as galleries, restaurants, theaters, and cinemas. I mean, I guess that happens. I can't say I would change that policy.
Well, this is so different.
Messes up here, huh?
Well,
One of them was done 10 years ago.
yeah. How about identify public-private partnerships and funding mechanisms necessary to enhance building facades and streetscapes? Yeah. Okay. I guess we can.
Private partnerships.
Yeah. I figured I would just read them out to you and just get your opinions on them.
Sorry.
Yeah, go
Can
ahead.
I go back to the very first one where you talked about maintain historical Bisbee's retail core as a primary?
Yeah.
You had suggested expanding that
Yeah.
to all of Bisbee, but we
Mhm.
never really talked about it.
Let's see here. So yes, maintaining historic Old Bisbee's retail core as the primary regional mixed-use activity center for tourism, legal, arts and culture, heritage, alternative healthcare, lodging, restaurants, entertainment, historic residential neighborhoods.
Of course, I guess it just says maintain.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not adding to it at this point. Does that come somewhere else?
No, I just wanted to get your opinions on it,
Okay,
how you all felt about it.
okay, sorry,
That's
I
good.
regress.
What do you-
That's naturally built in, right, because we have zoning,
Yeah.
and we have C1, C2, or like all the different zoning codes, and then we have the permitted allowable businesses within those codes. So to expand it everywhere, it's just essentially how we map the zoning, which I think right now, C1's in all districts.
Yeah. But there's a C3 section up there, but yeah, I mean, there's those other commercial zones in, in Bakerville, Warren, San Jose. I kind of feel like, I mean, I think that it's a great spot to just maintain what it has. Although, I wonder what things were like there 20 years ago versus today. Was it less touristy? Or was it
Where are we talking?
Old Bisbee?
Was it less touristy?
Would there be more businesses like, for example, healthcare, restaurant? Well, I have restaurants and entertainment. I mean, I guess when I think about it.
I think you'd have to go back about 50 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not quite.
okay.
And when I
Yeah.
first moved here, there was, of course, J.C. Penney's was the last retail
Right.
store,
Uh-huh.
and it lingered on.
Oh, okay.
And then there was, what, a couple, like
Was
Dennis.
Woolworths? That
Oh,
was gone.
Do you think we could strike legal, cut legal out of that one?
Well,
Like-
there is one attorney's office there yet, so I mean, that is still,
It's not really a retail core.
Yeah.
I think the whole landscape of economy has changed significantly, right?
Yeah.
Like your services, a lot of legal, accounting, you're doing it via phone call or
Yeah.
on the computer.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't have offices.
Right.
They have home offices, or they have what they call co-works. You might lease a building or an office space in a building as like a shared, when you need to meet clients one-on-one. The retail element, box stores are I mean, what, Bed Bath & Beyond, they're starting to close, right? So it's
Yeah.
becoming this like distribution more than you go into a store to buy something.
Right.
You have your online shipping, your Amazons. I mean, you can pretty much buy anything online. You just have to have a place to deliver it and a way to return it if you need to.
Hmm.
Which we don't have any
Yeah.
boxes. I mean, to try to get an Amazon box at the post office and try to return it, like that's a nightmare in itself.
Is it?
If you go over to Sierra Vista. But so like from a retail standpoint, it's like what's left after that, right? Entertainment, which we have really great entertainment,
Yeah.
restaurants, grocer. I think that's the one thing, you know, it's over in Safeway, and we got the dollar stores.
Yeah.
Well, we do have Poco, that is a retail store, so that
Yeah.
certainly is.
Yeah. That is the spot. Yeah, to get some groceries. Okay. I'll have to do it then. I just. Okay, because after
Certainly
we
people from, from Warren and San Jose never come to Old Bisbee. It seems like.
Right,
I mean,
right.
So, I mean, there's no reason for them. I mean, the library is, but now that we have a annex, that
Yeah.
there's even reluctance to come downtown to the library because of parking and so forth, so.
Okay.
But, the library certainly is whether that was specifically identified there or not, I don't remember, but that certainly is something you do want to insert somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Library. Okay. And library. Okay, great. Okay. I mean, when I think about the parking, the situation, I don't think people generally want to get on a bus. They'd rather just go what's close by instead of like having to go to Old Bisbee or find a place to park or get on a bus. But I don't know. But I could be wrong about that too.
Yeah, I don't think we're ready for a shot.
Yeah, not quite there.
Saying that.
Yeah. Well, I would say bring back the streetcar like in that picture. I'd love that.
See, and I think about the electric bikes, right? We got Be Active has some electric bikes, electric scooters.
Uh-huh.
Right.
I'm not really sure where to lock a bike in Old Bisbee if you do ride it. We're safe enough that you can typically leave it outside and nobody messes with it.
Yeah.
In my experience, but we don't have like a bike rack or bike bins or anything like that. I don't know if that's part of this pathway plan, if they have that in their design.
Well, I think they have stuff in the actual, like maybe on the pathway itself, but I do think that that's a problem in Old Bisbee. You're right that there isn't really anywhere to lock a bike, and I think that like the Busy Bee parking lot would be a good place to actually have a bike rack so people could at least ride their bike to the area and lock up and walk around. Say after the multi-use path happens, people will be taking their bikes, up from Warren or San Jose, and
Or Grassy Park would be another
yeah.
good location.
Let me actually add that. That's really
Yeah, we
great.
certainly wouldn't want to take any parking spaces away from the Busy Bee.
I saw the dumpsters were there now. I was like, oh, that's interesting. We have little cars, that's okay.
All right, let me just do that real quick. So for shoppers. Oh, okay. How about continue conversation with ADOT regarding the utilization of ADOT Transportation Enhancement Grant funds for the creation of a pedestrian mall.
Pedestrian wall.
Mall, I'm sorry. So I'm thinking like one spot that people have always been talking about is Subway. Like when it kind of comes, around and then goes back to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've kind of discovered that what happens if Main Street is closed off to cars, then you can see the the route that the cars take, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, yeah, it depends if you're going northbound. Northbound's okay, southbound over Clausen, that was, I was happy to see the street was back open.
Yeah, right, right.
Let's just put it that way.
Where are you with, on here?
51M. I mean,
M?
yeah, M.
Oh, that's crossed off on this.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Okay, well, what I'll do is,
I don't know where you could.
Yeah, I don't either. I
pedestrian
mean, we
wall.
have one now, we're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, oh, yeah, right, Main Street.
Yeah, I don't,
Maybe that's why it's crossed off. I can't
Yeah, I
Could
don't-
be.
think
I
of
don't- I
any
would-
place
Yeah, I
that
would
we
cross
could
it off.
close the street.
question mark, let's see. Like I say, it does seem like Subway would be the only viable one.
But isn't that where a lot of the businesses get deliveries through their back door?
Well, what they've been talking about, and I've heard this mentioned, that they would have it shut off to cars certain times of day, but in the morning when they get deliveries, it's open, and they would put bollards in the street. You're like, no.
who's gonna do that?
I know it's a lot of extra work.
Yeah, go there.
Resource.
I'd leave it crossed off.
Okay. All right, I'll write that down then. Okay.
Also, I'm jumping around here.
Sure.
But anyway, that, when we make reference to the historic district, then also put a statement there that connect historic Old Bisbee with historic Lowell and historic Warren.
Yeah, yeah.
And just make it, you know. And
Yeah.
certainly if we, you know, we have a bike, or we have a walking and bike path, well, that certainly going to Lowell would be facilitated considerably.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, just that people, as is the case, many people don't get to Warren at all.
Mm-hmm.
Increasing number of people are getting to Lowell.
Yeah. I do wish that Lowell could be a destination in itself and be a neighborhood for Saginaw. Let's see here. Okay. But I don't know if that, you know.
Yeah, my thoughts are that, as I said earlier, we need to connect Lowell with Old Bisbee rather than Warren.
Yeah. 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 All right. It's interesting because I do think that Lowell is Ward 1, and so is Saginaw. So it's like kind of put in there with Old Bisbee, you know. It's kind of lumped in there as a ward anyway. So that's always interesting. Okay. Back to where we were. Here we go. Worth the County, Freeport McMoran, private landowners, and BLM to develop scenic trails for hiking in the Old Bisbee planning area. Well, we already know that you want to do that, so that's a yes.
I have really strong feelings about that one, but they're very personal.
What-
Because I enjoy all the trails up there.
Yeah.
But the thought of seeing signage all over, just, for me, just feels like a violation.
Hmm.
I don't know, we had a new guy joined our hiking group who just moved to town.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to hike the city trails up in the hills, but he was afraid he'd get lost. So, other people showed him the trails.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why we want to formalize it a little more,
Mm-hmm.
but, I don't know, I think we need to be really careful. I think there are a lot of people that feel the same way I do.
Mm-hmm. So you're mainly concerned about signs up there.
Signage is probably the big one,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So would you feel better if there was like minimal signs, just enough that you don't get lost, and maybe make them more low, maybe fit in with the surroundings, or maybe more rustic
Yeah,
or low key? Or
You know, I'm not sure how to do it, but like on some of the main, like the Appalachian Trail,
mm-hmm.
you know, they have little arrows,
Mm-hmm.
arrow signs on trees.
Mhm.
Well, we don't have a lot of trees up there.
Why?
But, you know, we could do something on boulders,
Nope.
signage.
Okay.
We could do it the historic way and just stack rocks.
Yeah,
Like a cairn.
only people tend to knock those over because they don't like, it. It's
Yeah.
not natural.
It's not natural. Yeah, I mean maybe on a
So-
boulder or yeah.
I don't know. I think we have to be really careful about
Mm-hmm.
that, but I understand the desire for it.
Well, we need just likewise have just a paper brochure guide,
Mhm.
likewise is the answer there, rather than, I agree,
Yeah.
if we had signs down on Tombstone Canyons
Mhm.
pointing up the hill,
Mhm.
yeah, that would be,
Well, and even up the
Extreme.
hill, once you get to the top trail, where do you go?
So I have a map that came with the house. I don't know when it was printed, but somebody at some point in
Somebody
time
did, yes.
had a map. Cause I've been like, where are these trails? I don't know. Cause they're not, so I'm digital, so I go to All Trails, which is
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
essentially maps for trails. No
Mhm.
signs required, you have your GPS, you don't get lost
Yeah.
as long as you have Wi-Fi signal. But I found this guide with all these trails and I'm like, oh, so here they are.
I've seen that. Somebody's son made that.
Okay,
I
it was a
remember.
brosure, right?
Yeah,
Somebody
it was a
designed brochure
paper
that-
map.
Right,
yeah.
that was,
Um,
I found it a little bit incomplete, but anyway.
Hmm.
and a little
Right,
inaccurate
right,
too.
right.
Yeah, maybe we just need to. That trail is on all trails because I found it when I dug it and yeah, it's just a little dotted. It doesn't have a name or anything. It's just like it's just like very low key. Like this is a trail, but it's not really a trail. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's easy enough to reproduce, right? All you gotta
Oh,
do is
yeah.
turn your tracker on and go hike it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's applications that'll map it
Yeah.
and then you publish it.
And you get internet. Oh, actually, you know what? That's great. I haven't thought about actually you could probably make your own trails. You can like this is how you don't get spiked in the foot with cholla cactus. You just go that's how you find it. Anyway, so okay, great. Public art.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna say yes.
So one thing that I've seen in other towns that I'm like, that would be cool. So in the world of digital media, right, we have Instagram for the next generation. You hashtag something, it marks your location, and then you can share it. Hashtag Bisbee, right? You can go see everything in Bisbee. For the for the recent motorcycle rally,
Mm-hmm.
somebody painted the wall with some cool, artwork, and everybody, they were there taking pictures. And I'm like, all that is missing is a hashtag, right?
Oh my gosh. After living in LA, I'm kind of
No hashtag.
like
A place to take pictures, I
Place to take
guess.
pictures,
Like
yeah.
I've seen one, I think it was Memphis or Nashville, where it had like angel wings.
yeah,
And you
I've
could
seen
take
that
a
one.
picture and
Hashtag van life, hashtag LOL, hashtag boho chic. No, just kidding.
yeah, it's marketing. It's free marketing, essentially.
That's true. Free marketing.
We are a town of murals, though, we certainly
That's true.
do one,
Yeah.
and some excellent ones.
Okay, so moving on to historic Warren planning areas. So it's goal 6. Support established residential service, commercial office, and governmental land uses within the Warren area while minimizing infrastructure needs and transportation demands. And I wasn't quite sure what they meant. Minimizing infrastructure needs. And I'm guessing it's,
I don't quite understand that goal.
yeah, I mean, I think that Yeah, I don't quite understand. I mean, what they exactly mean by minimizing infrastructure needs. But maybe in the actual policies themselves, it'll
Did
make
this
it.
have to do possibly with the sewer moratorium?
I'm guessing.
Well,
So,
certainly in this document, it talks about the moratorium,
yeah,
so that was certainly, so I guess we can delete that or.
yeah. We could just cut out that. Yeah. Minimizing infrastructure needs.
Can we just end it after Warren area?
Yeah.
Support the established residential, service, commercial, office, and government land uses
Yeah.
within the resident Warren area.
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. We could do that. I do like. Okay, let's see. Support historic. Okay, objective 6.1 is support historic Warren as an established community area. Okay. Yes. Let's say yes. Develop and adopt a neighborhood revitalization plan or an area plan for historic Warren. And I do think that we maybe should be. I mean, while we're doing with the historic overlay, right? That I think that that's definitely one step in that direction. Is the plan part of the plan for historic Warren? I think that the next policy. Support commercial and residential revitalization and redevelopment projects that utilize existing residential and commercial structures is a great kind of wraps up into that, you know. And my idea is to include a plan for revitalizing Arizona Street, potentially
Yeah,
making it a destination for the neighborhood, you know, and have it be so that people don't feel like they have to go to Old Bisbee to get to like find entertainment or get their kicks, you know, or just or have to go to San Jose to just go grocery shopping or something. So,
what's the status of the historic designation?
you know,
It's been submitted,
yeah,
Okay,
I'm sure. I mean, I was part of the update when we were out walking the streets,
yeah,
and they hired a consulting firm who went down and guided that, so I think that's being pursued actively,
yeah.
appropriately.
so would the area plan for historic Warren be that?
Well, that I think that's a component of it, but I think that we really have to, I guess, consider what our goals are for Warren. You know, like
What would the neighborhood revitalization plan be?
I'm guessing that would be a combination of things. Like I think that would be an Arizona street plan.
Okay.
You know, doing something to sort of promote a little bit more activity down there. It doesn't have to be crazy or anything, but you know, just like maybe potentially infill residential, like or commercial on Arizona Street. I mean, I think that the vista is really nice. You know,
Okay.
there's also a lot of houses that seem to be empty around there. You notice that?
Well, there's different definitions of empty, I guess.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, nobody lives there. It's abandoned.
Like dilapidated?
Yeah, kind of. That's what I mean. Like somebody lived there and they haven't lived there. Maybe they died and their family still owns it.
That's true all
Yeah.
over Bisbee.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But we also then have, people who have second homes here that
Yeah.
they're not there often.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let me see if.
We do need to make reference to we're talking about the historic area,
Yeah.
specifically the National Register for Historic Places, so we need to specifically talk about that rather than the how it's written there now. Neighborhood revitalization plan, I guess that's, anyways, we do want that should be one of our goals, which is underway.
Okay, so in policy 61B, for the revitalization, wrap in the historic overlay. To the policy. Oh, oops. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, got it. We'll include that area, that element. Okay. Okay, how do you feel about this? Okay, policy 61C, utilize established public-private partnerships to promote the benefits of reduced parking needs and reduce impacts to the existing transportation network.
Yeah, I don't understand that, I would delete it.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to delete it just yet because, well, the only thing is that I'm thinking about is because I'm thinking about getting around Warren without, say, if Warren became a destination for people in Warren, if Arizona Street was a bit more than, you know, the couple of things that it has, we would, I guess I don't quite know the public-private partnership element, but I do think that we could promote it in a way that would promote people walking down the street to go to Arizona Street instead of driving 5 blocks to get there. So maybe we could reword that in a way.
I think it definitely needs rewording.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the advantage of Warren, is the fact that we do have parking, and I think moving some events, which is occurring off Old Bisbee and City Park,
Uh-huh.
you know, to Warren, and
Mm.
you know, that certainly is an area in which we can accommodate more parking.
Yeah. I mean, but let's see here.
I don't understand what it means at all.
Yeah, it's really vague, and so I'm thinking a lot about sort of like what a more modern way to address this would be, which I think that it really comes down to. Well, the thing is you're not really going to be changing the layout of Warren. You know, like you're not going to be demolishing buildings to add parking lots or widening roads or anything, you know. But one way, the way that I would address it and reword it would be that, for example, in Arizona Street, you know, which is partially in, Bisbee Road, which is partially in Warren, it's not very like friendly to pedestrians or cyclists. It's just kind of there, and then the edges of the road just kind of end in a ditch. And I think that it's very possible that if people felt safer riding on that road, say from the multi-use path down into Warren, people would be more likely to actually ride their bike or take an e-bike. So I would think of like a more robust multimodal transportation plan that would help, you know, facilitate less people driving down to Warren. I mean, I wouldn't reduce parking because there's not, you know, I think there's, like, especially on Arizona Street, the amount of parking that they have seems to be adequate for the area right now. So, you know, and around the park and stuff, and Vista Park, they managed to, like, even during the farmers market, I seem to not have any trouble finding parking. So, so I just think that we definitely would have to maybe boost the multimodal, like, you know, element, the bicycle, the walking. So,
Well, I would promote it more, as we talked earlier, about bicycling as a tourist attraction,
yeah,
rather than actually, and certainly the idea of you could rent a bike and bicycle to Warren and back, that certainly could be one of the attractions.
absolutely,
But certainly the streets are, like you mentioned, Bisbee Road is wide enough.
yeah,
I mean, biking is not a problem, and there's actually, you say there's not, you know, where to walk, but actually there's a sidewalk that follows most of Bisbee Road, so I mean, I walk that all the time. So anyway, I mean, it's much better than trying to get around Old Bisbee, where streets are very narrow. And
Yeah.
I mean, the idea of promoting bicycling in Old Bisbee is, you know,
yeah,
hazard.
it's a hazard, yeah,
Yeah.
They certainly are improving the drove through the tunnel, and certainly they're improving that, so you could actually bicycle through that, I guess, or walk through that if you're so inclined, but.
Yeah, I'd rather just take Old Divide Road, I think, in that regard, in that, you know, to walk, if I were to do that, yeah. Infrastructures. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking more about Bisbee Road, kind of when it starts going through Bakerville, it gets a little dicey. I mean, it's wide enough, that's true.
Supposedly there's a trail from Bakersville to Warren. I think it might be trespassing on Freeport.
Huh?
But supposedly, I met somebody, and they're like, oh, I just walked over from Warren on that trail. I'm like, what trail?
I'm not familiar with what that would be.
Yeah, like I said, it might involve trespassing, but apparently there's a walkway between Bakersville and Warren.
How do you... Weird, okay.
I can't imagine where that would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because you wouldn't be walking across that,
I
hit
don't know.
the mine tailings, would you?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Identify funding sources for needed infrastructure upgrades and for neighborhood revitalization, particularly enhancement of building facades and landscaping, which that's really going into what we were talking about before. So I think that we could beef this up a little bit more.
I think that's good.
Yeah. I mean, so many grants, so little time. That's true. Okay.
And E is good.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Preservation. We're working on that. Done and done. Okay.
And we can make some specific reference to the fact City Hall is going to be back there again in terms of governmental center.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's probably something that should be identified specifically.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I'm actually going to write that there because I might forget.
Yeah, there's that one big brown building that I think was mixed use on the corner there. It looks like there's like apartments up top and
Yes.
retail on the bottom that's all boarded up.
Where's that?
Oh,
It's
the
in
old
Warren.
Warren Hotel.
Is that what it was? It was a hotel?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to have a bunch of stuff, and I guess somebody bought it, and they I don't know what their story is.
Well,
Done anything with it yet?
the person who had the Woolworth building sold it, got $1 million some, bought that.
Oh.
And he has a reputation here and other places of buying historic buildings, allowing them to
Yeah. Why?
fall into the ground.
Just nuts, man.
That right there is your like mixed use, right? It was already
Yes.
kind of designed for it. It just needs to have some.
Yeah. No, you're right. Absolutely. I think that's such a lost opportunity right there. Hope they're not watching this. You guys are on TV. Okay. Develop high-performing schools, preserve historic school buildings, safe pedestrian routes to Greenway and Bisbee High School. Yes. I guess we'll have to find a plan for that.
You know, certainly a safe walking path to the high school is certainly a strong need. It is not. There is not.
There's not a good path to the high school. Yeah.
So if you go from Bisbee Road where the baseball field is there's like a little dirt where you can walk up to school terrace. It's just not formal, it's there.
Well, I'm just looking at, you go up Center Avenue over to the school, and it's just, you know, there's a
It's not real.
gravel on the side of the road, and it's big gravel, big rock.
Really.
And it's certainly
Yeah.
not, I mean, there's no sidewalk there. I mean, kids are walking there, but it certainly is not, it is not desirable.
Okay, I'm going to talk about that. Add a sidewalk from, for example, Center. Yeah, I see a lot of people walking to school because I go, hi, running my phone, thank you. Appreciate it, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Anyway, yeah, I left my phone at City Hall accidentally. um, yeah, this is great for kids, you know, in the area. But I see them walking. I see them walking to school like every morning, or on the mornings when I go out to NACO meetings at around here, you know. Okay. Support Copper Queen Community Hospital and Chiricahua Community Health Center's expansion to meet regional medical and health needs. I don't know a lot about this type of.
Isn't that in work? Didn't Copper Queen just get a substantial amount of
Yeah.
funding to expand by like 20,000 feet? I think
Yeah.
I read in the paper.
I saw a drawing of the new building, two-story building.
They're building a double,
Uh-huh.
where?
Seemed like it was attached to it.
Okay.
I can't remember. I saw it on Facebook or in the newspaper or something.
So it sounds like that goal's been accomplished maybe, or in works.
Yeah.
Well, likewise, Chiricahua has been occupying, you know,
Yeah.
Arizona Street is large in Chiricahua. They've, have occupied a number of different buildings,
Yeah.
and so they're making use of those structures.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so that's in the works. I'll have to look more into that and see. Look into it. Sounds good. Okay, how about San Jose growth areas?
You know, let's talk a little bit
Yeah.
before we move on to
Sure.
that. How do we deal with the other neighborhoods?
Uh-huh.
And sometimes in this, we've had them attached to, you know, I guess in terms of planning areas,
Yeah.
back when was growth areas,
Mm-hmm.
planning areas that had Saginaw.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking what an idea that I threw out at an earlier meeting, I'll throw out again here now, and that is, how about having an area that includes Saginaw,
Mm-hmm.
Bakerville,
Mm-hmm.
Tin Town,
Mm-hmm.
Galena,
Mm-hmm.
Briggs. Those are the areas that kind of have some uniqueness in themselves, and certainly the areas in which have benefited from community development block grants and so forth in terms of neighborhood improvements.
Yeah.
And rather than tying them in with like Bakerville and Warren, maybe it ties in better with Saginaw.
Would you say that you would want to sort of create, and say, putting Saginaw and Bakerville and Galena into their own specific area? That's
Right.
where they're just them together, not
Right.
attach anything else. Okay, so
And then of course it'd be Tin Town and
yeah,
and Briggs, and of course it would even, you know, well, anyway, I mean, it could even include Don Louis.
yeah.
I mean, that's certainly in terms of, I'm not quite sure what is a PC word to use for describing those areas, but anyway.
Well, they're.
Suburbans of the metro, right?
I mean, you know that they're yeah, you know that's right. Well, because a lot of them they're colonias, right? And the thing that I think that is the advantage with those areas being colonias is that there is CDBG community development block grant funds set aside specifically for those areas because they are designated as colonias. So so yeah, there are plans, and you know there could. I think they do. They're really unique in that you could really put, you know, some improvements, and you could actually get funding for those improvements. You know.
And of course, could even, this is really stretching, they include Cochise Row.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
I mean, that's really, I mean, that does, it's kind of part of Warren. But anyway, those are the areas in which, you know, redevelopment, I guess,
Mhm.
with the most redevelopment potentials.
Yeah.
And focus and having them lumped together rather
Yeah.
than a part of Warren or San Jose or something would give attention,
Yeah,
special attention to those areas.
Briggs. Add that. What I think is interesting about these areas is that they, they like when you compare them to say San Jose, they actually have sewer infrastructure, whereas a lot of San Jose is septic, right? I know, it's wild, huh? Like you're just like, okay, you actually could. These areas would make really good growth areas because of the fact that they do have the infrastructure in place, So yeah, it's interesting, and there's a lot of potential for neighborhood info. Like I think that Bakerville, I actually would like to do a Bakerville, like on Bisbee Road. It would be a great stretch along there to create sort of a plan for that street. We talked about this a little bit at the last meeting, really making it kind of a destination area for, like Warren or, and Briggs. Like there could be a little bit more. You talked a bit about, like a thrift store or what's it called? Vintage store district or something, right? Something that it could be a little bit more eclectic, right? I mean, that's just an idea for like the main road, but as far as a destination for people that live there, but what else do you think would be a good sort of policies for those areas?
Well, certainly, back a number of years ago, we created the Art District, which includes downtown Old Bisbee.
Mm-hmm.
But I always felt, I was on the council when this occurred, but I always felt that if an art district means a place where artists live and do their work, that is not downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, there are galleries downtown, but certainly, in many ways, Bakerville is more conducive what you're saying here in terms of, I mean, I even thought in terms of the old hospital, that could be even called artist studios, where you could actually be designed to live and work. And I think those opportunities, are not available in Old Bisbee.
Yeah.
But would be available in this district here that we're talking about, Bakerville, and even.
Interesting. I think that there is some land surrounding the old hospital, and we're talking about the idea of potentially building housing around there too on some of the land, because there was some sheds, but it might be interesting to actually do like some live work places there. Also, I think about that area in Bakerville on the west side. It looks like there's I don't know what it is. It looks like a giant storage unit. It's got all these rows of garage doors.
That's part of Hillcrest.
Huh.
Up on the hill?
No, it's on the other side of Bisbee Road.
Oh, you're talking the one with the gear, the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually operational storage.
Oh, for.
What
Behind
is it?
B&D, you mean? Is that what we're talking about, behind B&D Hardware, or?
Yeah, kind of up on behind that way.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's.
The compound?
It could be. I don't really. I've seen it a lot from School Terrace. I go walking around up there a lot, and so
Because there's the old electric, like a little bit further down. There's the old copper.
Yeah,
City
Copper City Electric.
Abandoned,
Right.
whatever going on in there.
Huh.
That
Yeah. Okay.
looks like it once was maybe industrial type.
There's gonna be a brewery going in there in that area, right?
Correct.
And I went by the Copper City Electric, and I go, this would be a cool space for either housing or mixed use, or because it has like a nice area in the front that could be like a sort of like community space or garden, patio, seating / home.
So on the art side, one of the first things that I had idea when I came here, I was like, we are a community of makers,
Mm-hmm.
creators,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no maker spaces.
Right.
I see constant posts where people are trying to find a studio to do woodworking or art,
Mhm.
or that seems to be a demand.
Yeah.
I think that's the point exactly I'm trying to make, is that, and this area is much more suited to that than what Old Bisbee is. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Old
there's
Bisbee
a
doesn't.
couple of places that I can think of that might work, but anyway, that, I thought it was ill-suited
Yeah.
to the old district. I would have expanded into, and certainly on Bisbee Road, there are several, and you're making reference to that. I mean, I don't know what that was, warehouse at some point, but I think that's all divided up now into storage units. And there are people who are, I don't know if anybody working there in terms of manufacturing things, but there's certainly, there's artists who have collections stored away in there, yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, yeah, that'd be a good, sort of like at a maker studio space slash. I don't know. It might involve some type of rezoning, because I think that there could be challenges to having people live in a workspace. But thinking about ways to change the zoning and the rules surrounding that.
Yeah, we'd have to look at that zoning map to see where the commercial is in that
Yeah.
area.
I mean, it could be also involving, again, like another overlay. I did not include the overlay on that side of the road because I was trying to keep it pretty minimal, just to have it be an experimental thing instead of, but I will definitely look into that.
Well, certainly Aho has converted their old high school, which is absolutely beautiful building, specifically as artist studios, and how they marketed that and drew people in that area.
Aho, Arizona, the town? Oh, okay. One thing I noticed that we don't have here is we don't really have any particular art walk events here or anything.
We have had.
well,
in
the
past.
second Saturday is.
Well, they do have
Saturday,
those.
Isn't it?
Right, well, they've had at different times, second Saturdays over Main Street,
Yeah.
and certainly in years past, they've actually had an event, what do you call it, art walk,
Yeah.
and there was posters and brochures and so forth
Mm.
promoting that. I don't know, it's been a while since that's, I think that,
Hmm.
Well, the number of galleries downtown is also starting to reduce because several of them have been sold.
Yeah, it's interesting. It'd be interesting to do sort of a economic, a sort of a analysis on what the trends are, right, downtown, like what's happening. Is there less gallery space? What kind of spaces are successful there? I mean, what kind of spaces were successful but aren't finding the same level of success anymore? And then thinking about potentially the overflow area. So I think affordability is always going to be an issue with a lot, especially for artists and stuff. It would be really fun to see reuse of buildings as art studio spaces, and if they can't be living spaces or retail spaces, then they could be artist spaces. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, that would be good. Yes, good for that area. I think that the proximity of Galena and Briggs to that area also could be beneficial for. One challenge that I think though is that in order to get from say like the area. You have to go the traffic circle and then come out this way, and it's right over there. Is that I think that there could be like a path, a multi-use path or something, or even just a walking path, and over the hill. But I think that's Freeport land.
I think, what do they call it, Lavender Park? I saw the sign go up not too long ago,
Oh,
over by,
there's a
I wanna say
Laverne
it's-
Williams Park.
Yeah.
what is it?
Laverne Williams?
There you go, there you go.
Oh, okay.
And there's a path there
Yeah.
that kind of looks like it heads towards, you know, Bisbee Road. I'm not sure if it connects, I've never walked it. but-
Certainly, there is a primitive trail that follows
Yeah.
Freeport's fence
Mhm.
that connects that area you're talking about,
Mhm.
Bakerville with Galena.
Okay. And it's not trespassing to go on it, or is it just one of those paths that's kind of like?
I don't know who, again, it's off of, it's, you just follow the fence in terms
Yeah.
of the,
Okay.
but anyway, and of course, you know, it connects with the railroad bed that comes in.
Uh-huh.
If you follow that railroad bed up to Freeport's property,
Mhm.
to their gate, and anyway, there's a fence, a primitive trail then that follows
Yeah.
that fence over to Galena.
Okay, yeah. Because I know I went walking and taking photos of Hillcrest down there, and I did come across that railroad bed, and somebody was actually running it, because, you know, there's the ballpark down there, you know, you're kind of up above the ballpark. Okay.
But
Good
when you're
deal.
talking about Galena and Briggs, what are we talking about? I mean, they're strictly old residential.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not looking to develop anything other than
Yeah, I think
old
that's a good- that's-
residential.
Yeah,
No.
right.
Yeah,
And I think the potentials for redevelopment are less there
Yeah.
than are
Yeah, yeah.
in Bakerville
Yeah.
and Saginaw.
Yeah.
And
I
even Tin Town.
yeah, even Tin
Yeah.
Town. I mean, I am really just thinking about how to get there. You know, I need to look at the Bisbee area mobility master plan again and see what the plan is for like those areas. Because I think that one thing that makes it an advantage is having a way to get there that's like safe and easy and you know, because like we're thinking about our goals of being like this active community, kind of a tourist community, and you know, and I'm thinking about just the people who live here too, you know, and like. And again, it's about parking too, you know. I think about like how much, you know, you want to encourage people to use their bodies or something to get from one place to another. That's my idealism talking right now, but anyway, trails.
yeah,
So-
and when you purchase a property or you live in a neighborhood,
Mhm.
there's several factors that drive it, right?
Yeah.
Connectivity to the rest of the community,
Yeah.
I think is walking trails,
Yeah. Walking trails, I think, is pretty huge.
noise.
Noise, yeah, right. Okay. Well, let's see. It's 6:41, so we'll go to. Are you ready to move on to San Jose growth
Well,
area?
one other comment, just for your information.
Yeah.
The term, the Wynwood community is listed, and that no longer exists.
Yeah, we're gonna strike
So
that from the
that's-
record.
Where was Wynwood?
Well,
Or what
how
was
should
it?
I describe it to you? It was actually a little community, but Freeport now has purchased all the property there. There was actually an area there historically.
Okay.
Anyway, it's, how should I describe it?
By the pit?
Well, before you hit the pit there, I mean, if you were coming off the circle, and then turning left into, you know, the breakfast company, you turn
Okay.
the other way, and that takes you up what was Wynwood.
Oh,
Okay. So that road, Glen, or whatever it's, okay. I've always wondered why there was a road there.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, there were a number of homes there, and I think historically there was actually a dairy up in there.
Wow.
But anyway, it's totally owned by
yeah.
Freeport now and no access.
Yeah. Okay. I know. I always see that, and I would love to see what that looked like. I mean, I guess it was just a collection of houses, right? More than anything. Up in the hills a little bit more, right? Okay. Well, we see 6:42. Man, I should have brought an extra battery. I didn't think it was going to go so long. Anything else?
Well, that's something for us to ponder in terms of creating that, that's something unique from the historic prior document, is grouping those neighborhoods together.
Yeah.
Before they were just kind of lumped together, and I think they do have some commonality.
Yeah.
new Dollar General, you know, is built in that area now, so we have some redevelopment occurring.
You know, yeah, weird sort of way, huh?
A little closer to town.
I don't
There you go, civilization.
Doesn't make any sense to me, but anyway, it's there.
It is.
I heard Burger King filed bankruptcy.
Wow.
I read an
Really?
article today, so.
I know, they should turn that building into another dollar store.
I want to see an In-N-Out where Burger King is, because you can buy a burger and fries for like $5.
Now that would be wild. The most remote in and out
In and out.
in the
yeah.
country.
Well, anybody can buy a franchise.
Oh,
You
okay.
can buy a franchise and start it up. It's just you got to take the entrepreneurial spirit and the capital and do it. So.
Capital. I don't know. I don't know how much it costs to buy a franchise these days. I'm sure it's a lot of money.
But that's certainly one of the attractions of Bisbee, the fact that that's really the only fast food
That's
place
true.
that we got. I mean,
Right.
the only,
I know, right?
I mean, everything else is, the only chain we have, I should say, is Circle K and so forth, but anyway, that it really is the, well, interesting.
Well, I think that's a key selling point too, right? Like to drive growth, we are a small business, local
Mhm.
small business supporting community.
Yeah, I wonder if a local chain not chain, local restaurant could set up shop in a building built for a chain. You know.
Also, another piece of information I just acquired yesterday, and that is that the Sierra Vista Chamber of Commerce is changing their name.
Uh huh.
They're saying like a third of their membership is outside of Sierra Vista.
Wow.
You know, currently we do not have a Chamber of Commerce. They're now
Right.
calling themselves the Sky Partnership Chamber of Commerce or something like that, is the term
Huh.
they came up with. Anyway, that's breaking news from I just had a meeting with the Chamber.
So is there like a Sky Island? Is that a demographic? I've heard Sky Island, Sky, like where is that?
Well, the Chiricahuas
It's a
have
brand.
been, yeah,
A brand? Okay.
well, Chiricahuas have been kind of called the Sky Island. I mean, it makes reference to high elevation area like the
Okay.
Chiricahuas that have attracted bird and mammal species from Mexico, and so
Yeah.
that's, you know,
I
the
think
uniqueness of our area.
they've
Yeah.
expanded that to even the Tombstone Hills and the
Yeah.
Whetstones and the Huachucas.
Whetstones.
But a number of people have used that term, term of Sky Island. I mean, there's
Yeah.
even a classical music group in Sierra Vista that calls themselves the Sky Island.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's,
I guess that Mule Mountains could be considered a sky island. I mean, they're not quite as high as the other ones, but they definitely have their own ecosystem. You know, junipers and stuff. Okay, so really quick, goal 7. Hopefully this battery holds out. Provides San Jose growth area provides sufficient residential land to support a mix of housing types and opportunities within the San Jose growth area to meet the diverse needs of persons of all income levels and ages. Which I think is a good goal. I'd like to expand that a bit more. And I wrote this a long time ago. Objective 7.1, provide an adequate supply and mix of developable residential land within the San Jose growth area to accommodate future housing needs. And I said, rezone or create an overlay for allowing higher density and a mix of uses in existing undeveloped or underdeveloped areas. I think that part of a missing element of this is that they maybe didn't really think about was the goal of infrastructure, of creating more infrastructure to support all of these housing goals that they had. You know, because they talked about promoting increased housing density with a range of prices, but also applying density bonuses, so to facilitate and encourage more development.
well, certainly that overlay district is more logical in my brain for that area right there
Yeah.
than anywhere else. And I noticed when I was reading this somewhere, there was an earlier goal, I mean, it's not here, but anyway, it was to develop 92 is a linear park, which I don't know that I would eliminate those words now. I think that that probably was an interesting concept, but I think what you're doing as overlay district for that area makes much more sense.
Yeah.
Include some parks, but the idea of making that whole 92 as a linear park, I think has a much greater potential as apartments and mixed.
Yeah.
use.
And if you do like departments, right, if they do large quantities, to get infrastructure out there, there's potential to impose what we call improvement impact fees. That's what, you know, the West Valley of Phoenix does, right? Hey, we need some street lights and some sewer. Yeah, you can develop here, bring us $1 million to improve the infrastructure.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's important, you know, or part of it is, I mean, that's the thing, you know, it's like we're trying to draw people to come here to develop more. But we do have to, you know, we can waive certain fees, but also we're like, if you wanted to develop here, you have to be the one developing the sewer lines and the water lines. You can't. Sorry, that's just a part of the cost of building here, you know. So I don't know. That's something where I probably would have to like. That's kind of beyond my wheelhouse at this point, you know, because I'm like, ugh. But you know, I'm thinking about like I don't know, pro forma, like a, you know, real estate, and like, how does this pencil out, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think it comes with the how, right? The
Yeah.
what and then we gotta figure out the how for each one of these.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or, you know, and there's also like the grant funding for sewer lines. USDA has a lot of stuff, especially in rural areas, you know, for like water and infrastructure. So.
It seems like 7(1)A, B, and C are all pretty much, will all pretty much be covered by our overlay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there industrial anywhere?
In
Do we have an industrial overlay?
we have some industrial areas, but let me look real quick.
We have commercial manufit,
Uh-oh.
no, what do we have?
So everybody, I want to let you know that our battery's about ready to die. It's about 7 o'clock. So do we want to wrap up?
Do we have to
Okay.
end?
Now they do it.
I want, is there a way that we can just, I mean, do we want to consolidate any of these, or do you just let them be like they are, and once we get the overlay, we say, oh, good, we did one,
Well,
A, B, and C.
well, you know, I think that I need to revisit them and rewrite them, and we could consolidate them. It just depends on you know, I need to look at them and just
Okay.
see.
And could you provide us an update of what you provided us here?
Yeah.
What we discussed now in terms of, we made some changes.
Yeah.
And that way that'll be the prime topic of our next work session, is to review that.
Okay.
And,
Oh, we didn't even get to stakeholders.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll find some. What I might do is I might gently give you some paperwork here and there, and not inundate you with too much information, because I know how it's like to have too many things coming at you. So.
well, these two ladies here are eager to do that, so yes. The rest of these guys here are not too dependable, but anyway.
Okay, we gotta close it up. Close up shop. Let me see.